All right, moving into round 7 of this beautiful unicorn mandala. Welcome back. We are going to get started on part 2, and I've already chained 1. Let's go ahead and chain 2 more, and this is going to serve as a double crochet. All right, and so we're going to be doing 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches. So 1. I always struggle with half double crochets. If you're with me, drop a comment on the half double crochets. We're going to do 2 and do a single crochet into the top of the next stitch. Okay, and so into this chain 2 space we're going to be putting 2 single crochets, and this is going to start our repeat. So 2 single crochets into that chain space. Then you're going to put a single crochet into the next stitch. You're going to do 2 half double crochets. Give me a second, my yarn is a little tight. Number 2. Okay, and then we're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to be doing a single crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to be doing a treble crochet into the next stitch. So yarn over twice, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then you're going to be doing 2 double crochets to the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. And now we're going to do 2 half double crochets. And a single crochet into that last stitch. So let's do that one more time together. We're going to do 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space, a single crochet into the next space. It might be kind of tight there just because of the way that's lined up. And you're going to do 2 half double crochets. 1, 2. 2 single crochets. 1, 2. A treble crochet. 2 double crochets. 2 half double crochets. And a single crochet. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around until you get to this section over here, and I will help you finish up. All right, so to finish up this round, we are going to be doing, I just put 2 single crochets into my last chain 2 space. And we're going to do a single crochet to the next stitch. We're going to do a half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. We're going to do 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches, so 1 and 2. And then you're going to do a treble crochet into the next stitch. Okay, and now you should have 1 stitch left to do a double crochet. All right, now I am going to fasten off here. And I'm going to get started though slip stitching into my my chain 3 that created my very first double crochet. So I am going to go ahead and get my hook in there, and I'm going to fasten off, and we're going to switch over to our pink. All right, moving on to round 8. Which is going to be the same exact type of round as round 9. So I'm going to record this section for both of these rounds. We're going to be pulling our pink through the top of that chain 3 that we did for a double crochet to get started on our last round. I'm going to pick up my tail as well as my new yarn, and I'm going to chain one. Oh, I lied, I didn't catch it. All right, put a little bit tighter. We're going to chain one, and now I'm going to drop that tail so that I can crochet around it. We're going to be putting a single crochet into that same stitch, okay? And now you're going to be putting a single crochet into every single stitch all the way around using both loops. And at the end of this round, you should have 78 single crochets, okay? And you should also have 78 single crochets at the end of round 9. All right, moving into round 10, I have fastened off my pink. I have 78 single crochets all the way around twice with the color pink. So round 8 and 9 both were 78 single crochets. I'm going to pick up my blue. We're going to be pulling that yarn through the top of our first single crochet as well as our pink loop. I'm going to pull that pink real nice and tight and give myself a little bit of a blue tail. I'm going to chain one, and now I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into that same stitch and I'm going to do a puff stitch. So yarn over and go into that stitch, pull up your loop nice and tight, tall, not tight, yarn over, go into the same stitch again for a second time, pull up that loop nice and tight, yarn over a third time, go into the same stitch, pull up your loop, and make it tall as well. That's going to leave you with 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 7 of those loops. Now chain 2. Okay, we're going to skip the next stitch and do that again into the following stitch. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, nice and tall, yarn over, go in a second time, pull up your loop, go in a third time, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all of those loops on that hook and chain 2. And that's all this row is. Let's do it one more time. We're going to skip a stitch and we're going to do a puff stitch into the following stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up a loop a third time. Now that one's probably going to be a little tight for me, but that's okay. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 7 of those loops, and we're going to chain 2. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 39 puff stitches and 39 chain 2 spaces. Moving into round 11, I have fastened off with my blue. I'm going to pull that pretty tight, and I'm in the top of my first puff stitch, okay? And I'm going to pick up green. I want a contrasting color here. And so we're going to pull through all 3 of these loops on our hook. Make sure you're pulling that blue tail nice and tight, and we are going to be chaining 1 with both the tail and our new yarn, okay? Pull that super tight and drop the tail, and you're going to be yarning over and you're going to be doing a double crochet into the skip stitch 2 rows below, okay? So go ahead and do a double crochet there. And you're going to do that again into that same space, okay? All right, and then you're going to do a front post half double crochet around the puff stitch. And this is what we're going to be doing this whole round, okay? So yarn over, we're doing 2 double crochets into rows 9's skip stitch. So this is going to be 1, and 2. Okay. Now you're going to do that front post half double crochet around the puff stitch. All right. And that's going to complete your repeat. So go ahead and do that all the way around. And at the end of this, you're going to have 78 double crochets and 39 front post half double crochets. And I will be fastening off Moving into round 12, I have fastened off my green, and into the top of the back loop only of the next double crochet, I'm going to slip stitch with my new color, the pink. All right. Pull that green tail nice and tight, and go ahead and chain one with both your tail and your working yarn. Okay, go straight into that same back loop only, and you can drop your tail now and do a single crochet. Okay, that's going to serve as the first one. Now into the back loop only, all the way around, you're going to be doing a single crochet, and at the end of this round you're going to have 117 single crochets, and I am not going to fasten off at the end of this round. Moving on to round 13, I am going to be slip stitching into both loops of the very first single crochet from our previous round. Okay, and I'm going to chain one and put a single crochet in that same space. This is already going to be serving as the beginning of our repeat, the single crochet. So next we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and into our third stitch we're going to put 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 2 and go back into that same stitch with 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and 3 double crochets. Okay, and you're going to skip 2 and go into the third stitch with a single crochet. Okay, so we're going to skip 2 again and do the same thing that we did here, and we're just going to repeat this over and over. Single crochet, skip 2, 3 double crochet into the same stitch, a chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into that same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. So we've just done 2 sets of our repeat together. All right, I have done 19 of my repeats. I have 19 single crochets and 19 tops, and I only have 4 stitches left. So what I'm going to do is skip a stitch and do a single crochet into the second. I'm going to skip 1 stitch, and into the next one I'm going to do my last top, so that I have 20 tops and 20 single crochets. Okay, so this is my third double crochet. I'm going to chain 2, put my last 3 double crochets into that same stitch, and number 3, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this first single crochet, but I'm actually going to undo that because I am going to fasten this off and switch over to blue for our next round. Moving into round 14. All right, I have fastened off, as y'all know, and I'm going to actually flip my work over. This is a lot easier for me because I don't do back post double crochets very well, and this entire round is technically back post double crochets. Worked from the wrong side, we are going to be doing front post double crochets to make it much easier on my carpal tunnel. You don't have to do it from the wrong side, but I am going to use only terminology as if we are working from the wrong side. So go ahead and take your new color, and you're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Okay, and you're going to chain 1 and go directly into the next 3 double crochets. You're going to do front post double crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Now into the chain space, we're going to do a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet. Now we're going to do front post double crochets around these 3 double crochets as well. 1, 2, and 3. Now into the single crochet, we're going to put a single crochet, and that's going to complete our repeat. You're going to do that again. Let's do it again together. So we're going to do 1 front post double crochet. Oh my gosh, my yarn's getting too loose. 2 front post double crochets. 3 front post double crochets, and into the chain space, a double crochet, a chain 1, and put another double crochet into that chain space. Okay, I'm going to turn my work a little bit, and we're going to do 3 front post double crochets down the other side. So you're going to repeat this all the way around. You will end with a single crochet in the top of the previous round's single crochet. Okay, so I will meet you at the end. You are at the end of this round going to have 20 single crochets, 20 chain spaces, 40 double crochets, and 120 front post double crochets. And we should be staying on the wrong side for the next round as well. Moving into round 15, I did fasten off with my blue, and I'm going to slip stitch after I had my last single crochet there for round 14, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that first front post double crochet. I'm going to stay on the wrong side of this piece for this round, and I'm going to be chaining 1 here with my new yarn. Pull it kind of tight, and we are going to put a front post double crochet around our first 2 front post double crochets. So 1 and 2. You're going to do a front post half double crochet around the next stitch, and a front post single crochet around the next stitch. You're going to put a single crochet in the chain space, and then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to do a front post single crochet, a front post half double crochet, and 2 front post double crochets. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to skip the single crochet here, and we're going to go straight into the front post again. And so let's do that repeat one more time together. We're going to do 2 front post double crochets, so 1 and 2. We're going to do a front post half double crochet around the next stitch, and a front post single crochet around that last stitch on this side, and a single crochet into the chain space, a front post single crochet to start the other side, a front post half double crochet, and 2 front post double crochets, and you will skip that single crochet that separates these, okay? And I will meet you at the end. Moving into round 16, this is going to be the last round that we do. And so I have flipped my work back over to the right side, and I've got my hook in the very first double crochet that we did, which is now a back post double crochet. Since I'm on the right side, I'm going to slip stitch into that, and I'm going to make a note of this round. So we want to make sure that we have our 4th, we're going to be doing 8 single crochets in a row, and we want to make sure that that 4th single crochet is always in the top of the single crochet that we put in our chain space from the previous round. And the way that we're going to accomplish that today is we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, we're going to chain 1 and put a single crochet there. Okay, and that's going to be our first stitch of our repeat. Our second one, our third, and that's going to place our fourth one right there in the top of that single crochet like we want. Then you're going to put a fifth, excuse me, I swear I can count, guys, a sixth, a seventh, and an eighth. Okay, and now we're going to skip the next stitch and we're going to do that again. So we're going to do 8 single crochets. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. That fourth one is going in that single crochet that we put in the chain space. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you'll skip the next stitch, so go ahead and repeat that all the way around. You're going to wind up with 160 single crochets at the end of this, and we will move into part 3, which I will attach at the end of this round, and we will just go ahead and slip stitch with our new color at the beginning of part 3 when we go into round 17. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I look forward to working with you guys in part 3.